Hi everyone, I'm Lauren.
And I'm Lindsey.
That's us.
Wearing
Mama.
I'm laughing because my son in the other room said, and I'm Lindsey. He did it again.
So what are we talking about today?
Today we are going to talk about sheltering versus not.
All right. Shall I start us?
Sure.
Okay. So I personally don't believe in sheltering your child from anything that other kids cannot be sheltered from. That's pretty much my philosophy about it. If it's, and that's like the negative things of the world, but also like if your kid is curious about something, then I think they're ready to hear the answer. There's an age appropriate way to give it. But yeah, anything that may be an adult problem that, you don't necessarily need to burden your child with yet. Like, maybe if you're having marital problems, you don't need to tell your kid that per se. But anything like the fact that some kids go to school hungry, if your kid is old enough to be in class with those kids, they're old enough to know what they're going through. That's my theory, that's my philosophy, in a quick nutshell. Do you want to go yours and then I can dive in, or what?
No, because I like your way of thinking, so go ahead and dive in.
Okay. So, this, and I don't want to be preachy or anything about it. So, but it's just I always expected to be mom to a girl, right? So all of my thoughts were about how I would mother to a girl, what I would teach her that I learned throughout my life, or what I think that young girls need to know, different things like that. And when I had a boy, I really realized that a lot of what girls go through is a result of the way that boys are parented and not how the girls are parented. And I realized I really need to do a good job with him, because I don't want my son to run around the playground, pulling girls' hair because he likes them, for example. And I don't want a girl to put up with that kind of behavior just because, my son wasn't taught that that's not okay, And I think this, kids will do things, of course. Kids are kids. But I don't want my child to be ignorant to what his friends or classmates or peers are going through. And so, yeah, it's important to me that he always knows. He knows what it's like to grow up being a girl. He knows what it's like to grow up being, my son's white. He'll know what it's like to grow up being a minority. Obviously, I can't be this is the experience because I haven't lived it. But what I know, I want to share with him, and I'm not going to burden him with the weight of the adult world, but anything that the kids his age are going through, it's important to me that he knows that, because I think that every interaction we have with others, it really affects the bigger picture. Even if you're not a person of authority, you might just be someone's classmate or someone's friend, but certain words that you say to them really make a difference. Just to throw out an example, I think a lot of Black kids growing up, if they're really intelligent or if they're really into video games or different things like that, their white friends will say oh, you're so white. And that's actually really hurtful to those kids. And it's really confusing to their identity. And that's an example of something that I want him to know is not okay. I want him to understand that the world is made up of a whole bunch of different types of people, and they're complex, and nobody is one certain thing. And don't say things like that, but not even just don't say that, see that person as more than just one piece of their identity. I feel like that was a big ramble.
Yeah, and I missed half of it because I was arguing with my child. But yeah, no, I agree. You definitely should not. You should teach your kids about other things that are going on. Especially like you said about kids going to school hungry, teaching boys how to treat women like That's something that needs to be taught young. And that no means no.
Yes.
Goodness gracious. Such a hard topic. Because, I mean, who would think that no meant no?
And kids, like, excuse me, kids aren't really born seeing a difference in the other children around them. I think it's mostly learned and taught. Like when Oliver plays with other little boys and other girls, he treats them all exactly the same.
Yep.
And I just don't think, I think that, you know, they are all equal individuals, but those little girls will live their lives a little bit differently than Oliver. And I think that we can all, no matter the age, take that into account when, you know, in the dealing with the people around us. And it doesn't even just benefit them, it benefits you to be able to say, like, maybe the way that this person acts or the way that they speak is a result of them living a different life than me. And I can't change what they say or do, but I can change how I respond. And if we can all take that tiny, tiny bit of extra effort, it's almost nothing really. If we can all do that, like to be a little more considerate, like everyone is happier. We're happier. The people we interact with are happier. I don't understand why anyone wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I also just don't think it's fair.
Yeah.
To just
Switch
be like,
gears.
oh.
Go ahead.
No, it's just, I don't think it's fair to be like, oh, well, this is my life. Other people's problems don't affect me. Like, no, you got the life you got out of luck. Like, you were lucky to be born into the life that you got. So to just spit in the face of that and not care about anyone else who has other problems is ignorant to me.
Very, very ignorant.
Okay, switch your gears.
Switch gears. Easter just passed.
No.
It really hasn't. But when this episode goes up, it will probably be past.
Oh, I was so
I'm thinking in the future, Lauren. Bear with me.
You're smart.
So I know this is what Oliver's second Easter, but his like first one that he actually gets to like enjoy, or got to enjoy since we're in the past now. Yeah. I know we went over this around Christmas time about with Santa. I'm going to spell it because I have someone in the other room. What are you? I don't remember what we said about Santa. But what are your feelings on the Easter Bunny?
So here's the thing. I don't think that most kids necessarily believe in that bunny or many of those fictionalized characters. When I think back to being a kid, I don't know that I necessarily I know I got excited for Santa. I know I was like wanting to see him. But when I think about all the other, you know, characters that were supposed to, like the Tooth Fairy and Easter Bunny and stuff, like, I don't know that I ever thought about them that way. I think I was just more looking forward to getting the basket, having the experience. And so to me, I want to give that experience to Oliver. So, like, sure, I'll talk about the Easter Bunny and Santa and all of that. And if he figures it out, he figures it out. But I think to me, it's more about creating the fun experience.
Yeah, I think it's more about having them believe in something, you know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Their imagination. Like, I think it builds imagination stuff and, like, creativity and stuff. So I think, like, that it needed to be brought up for this because it is kind of like, I guess we are sort of sheltering them in a way.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good form of sheltering. And I feel like if you didn't, you would be one of the only, or Oliver or Tim would be like one of the only ones in school who didn't believe in that. And they would be the one that goes around telling other kids that it's not true.
Which is such a dick move.
So bad. But yeah, no, I agree with what you're exactly like. I mean, every year we're going to have for Tim an Easter basket, or the Tooth Fairy will come, and good Lord, don't even get me started on the Tooth Fairy. Why is she so expensive nowadays?
She is.
I had someone tell me the other day that they gave their child, oh God, what was it? It was like $10, I think. And I'm like, damn. And then their like justification was because he had it pulled. And I was like,
sorry,
so you spent money for the tooth to be pulled and you're going to give them a high money? I was like, no.
Nah.
I don't know if I've said this, we've talked about the Tooth Fairy before. But what I'm going to do is go to the bank and get a bunch of $2 bills because they're kind of magical because they're not really in circulation, and give $2 bills from the Tooth Fairy because it's not something you get all the time, and it's $2.
That's cute.
So that's what I'm going to do because I think it's ridiculous. There is no way in hell I could afford that much for freaking teeth.
No. But what would you do?
Oh gosh.
If he like directly asked you, like, is such and such real?
I think I would ask why they are questioning it. You know, because if it's just something like, oh, someone told them, or if they really, like, I don't know, like, I feel like I wouldn't know why they were asking, before I just be like, oh, yeah, no, 100%, it's not real. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to, because, I mean, all kids want to believe, and I feel like it is somewhat traumatizing when you find out they're not. But so I think it would depend on his age and the situation, but I think I would definitely ask, like, oh, well, why are you having questions? Like, what do we need to talk about? Like, you know what I mean? Like, bring it up in a question form before just being like, yeah, no, you're right, honey, it's mommy.
That's a good answer.
Where are we going?
I haven't really been totally sure how I felt about that. That's why I asked.
Yeah. That was a good question because I really wasn't, I don't know. But I would like to think that I would definitely ask, be like, oh, honey, like, why are we having questions about this? What happened? You know, make it a discussion instead of just coming out with a definitive, no, you're right. Your speculation is absolutely correct. It's mommy, honey. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want my kid to be able to, like, ask me anything.
Definitely.
But
I also, like, I just want them to, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just fun to have a kid believe in something.
It is.
And I think I will be crushed when Tim gets that age and the house, like, because that's like the magic's gone. You know what I mean? Like, Christmas just becomes Christmas, you know? Like, not that that's a bad thing. But it just becomes, it's not more about, like, putting the gifts together when they're sleeping and hiding all the gifts till Christmas Eve. And, like, it's more fun when they're kids and they believe in it, you know?
I wonder if there's, like, a really great tradition that could sort of replace it at that age. Like, maybe you start each year volunteering at a soup kitchen together, or, like, maybe you sponsor a Christmas for another kid, or, like, maybe there's something different that you could start to do. I'll have to brainstorm. I have many years ahead, I hope, before that.
Yeah. I mean, usually Drew's family, and they include me, around Thanksgiving, they do a soup kitchen dinner. We weren't able to make it this last year, but the 2 years before then, we did go. And it's life-changing.
That's nice.
It's really life-changing.
Which also goes back to us, like, saying that we're not going to shelter our, like, that's a really good example of a way to show your child, like, look, you're so lucky and you should appreciate it so much. And also you should help out. There's a lot of people who need helping.
Yeah, definitely. My son loves Halloween.
Good. What about the big question? Do you know what it is?
I don't. I'm now curious what this big question is.
Mommy, where do babies come from?
Oh, I thought of that earlier. I'm definitely not going to say the stork because that story is just stupid.
So dumb.
Plus, like, I have maternity photos from when I was pregnant with Tim on my wall, and he knows he was in my belly. So it's not, there is no stork, you know? Yeah. And he didn't just magically appear on my doorstep kind of thing. So I don't know. It depends on his age on how like in depth I would go. I think he's okay with knowing that like, oh, you were in mommy's belly and then you weren't anymore. Yeah. And you don't need to know how you got into mommy's belly. Like none of that stuff needs to be until they are older and need to understand that.
There will be for us. There will be a level of directness. I just don't know what it is yet, but I just hear a lot of small children, like repeating things nowadays that I think it's just a mix of like the subject matter on TV, things they hear other adults say, and like just what all is easily available on the internet right now. Mm-hmm. If they do a quick search, which kids know how to do really early.
Oh yeah, Siri.
Even if you like protect your kids' internet access and all that, like other kids just, I don't want them to get misinformation, and I also don't want them to like not trust me because they asked me and I said, oh, mommy, like, okay, here's an example of one thing I'll never say. Well, mommy and daddy, when they love each other very much, they give each other a special hug.
Oh, God.
Because 100% there have been children that I've read, like, stories on, you know, BuzzFeed or Twitter or wherever it was that would, you know, parents told them that, and then they went around, like, hugging other kids and saying, I'm pregnant now, or we're going to have a baby now, you know, and it's like, I just like to eliminate any of that. So I think for those reasons, like, we will be honest. Just, I'm not really sure exactly how the wording will go yet.
Yeah. I guess, like, you could do, like, the term sleeping with, but not, like, go into depth what that means. Because, like, kids will just believe, like, oh, like, you're sleeping. And no boy and girl should be sleeping next to each other kind of thing at a young age. Mm-hmm. So maybe you could do it like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it just depends the person, depends the kid, and their intelligence level, and a whole bunch of other things could impact like what exactly works for you to say.
Yeah.
Do you what do you guys do about anatomy? Do you use the direct terms?
No, we say Peter.
That's right. I remember. I saw the little Peter.
And I mean butt's butt, but and Tim has learned boobs. But I don't think he knows like the female anatomy, and there's no really need for him to know that, you know, at the moment.
Mm-hmm. But maybe like if you had a baby girl,
yeah,
you might.
I may just say privates, you know. I don't know, because there's really no good term for the female perspective, and I'm using these terms because my child's sitting beside me. I don't want you guys to think I'm some prude. Yeah, but we're also going to dinner with his grandparents later, so I don't want him to learn any new words.
Not today.
For dinner. Okay. But yeah, I think I would just use the term privates. I don't know.
I'm definitely planning to use all the proper terminology. But I think that it also, again, circles back to, like, every time it comes up, you don't necessarily need to use every single word.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I can't think of a good example right now, but like maybe in casual conversation. I don't know. But I do want us to be like, I don't want penis to be a naughty word in our house at all.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And I don't have like any facts to back this up. It's just something I've seen a lot because I feel like this hot topic on the internet talking about like using or not using the right term. But like one thing that I saw consistently in comment section was that like it was proven that like kids who didn't know the proper terminology were more likely to have been sexually assaulted or molested. And that them knowing the proper terminology, I guess, like, gave them, firstly, like, made it easier for them to report it and be understood correctly versus, like, kids who might have said, like, bottom. Like, maybe if you told your kid that's your bottom, then when they report it, it's, like, not fully understood what happened. Do you know what I mean? You might not take it so seriously because you don't understand that they don't mean butt, they mean penis or, you know? So I don't know what like the facts and statistics are with that. But yeah, I do want there to be clarity for that reason as well, so that he knows like very strict boundaries and also knows how to communicate.
Yeah. I don't know. I understand what you're saying. I don't think penis is a bad word. I just think for his age, I don't want him running around yelling. At least now it's like, oh, maybe he knows somebody named Peter.
Computer.
Oh, well, he just thinks I said computer, but it's fine.
Computer. Call it the computer.
Yeah, we'll just change the name to computer now. But I think it's, I don't know, it's a hard subject, you know? And I feel like that's something that could be different with every child you have, depending on like everything, you know?
I think a lot of us grew up in houses where we did not use the anatomical term, scientific term. So it's an adjustment, like, it's definitely an adjustment to like, even for me to just like use correct terminology in a normal conversation. I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Not a penis, it's a wee-wee.
Oh. Yeah. No, I agree 100%. Like, I still sometimes feel dirty, I guess, saying the appropriate words.
Right. When really it's like crazy. It's not, you know.
Yeah.
You don't call your nose your snot hole.
Well, I might now.
Your feet aren't your walks.
Hey, they are now.
Are your hands your grabbers?
No, they're my pinchers.
This just turned into a whole new and way more fun segment.
Yep. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's something maybe we can do like a check-in later when both of our boys are older.
Yeah, definitely. I think really we'll end up hitting the same topics again a few times down the road. Like,
yeah, because things change and our opinions could change. We all know our opinions won't change on one topic. I won't bring it up, but yeah, our opinions could change on some other things.
Yes. Cool. Is there any other thing that is a telling versus sheltering topic that we're not thinking of?
No, I think we covered telling, sheltering.
One thing that I did want to mention is like I see a lot when it comes up about like explaining the world to your child, and a lot of the time it's about the negative things. Yeah, that it's flat. It's about the negative things that, people would just say like, kids don't need to know that yet or whatever. That I think people are concerned that kids are going to have like a harder, like that it's going to take some degree of joy out of the kids' lives. And I just don't think that that's true. Like, I think that it's okay to tell your kid, yeah, there are bad people out there, and yeah, there are bad things
definitely.
And that's life. Like, I think it's okay to tell your kid that, because I don't think that takes away any magic. Like, for me, I really think that once I finally understood that, I mean, and I was an adult, so imagine having understood as a kid, but like as an adult, once I really finally grasped, like, the world can be bad and not everyone's life is like mine. Like, it made my life so much better. And because I was so appreciative, but also because like I realized everything isn't about me. And,
It's not?
so, I know you think it is because I'm like amazing. No, it's enriching to hear about other people's lives. And just because other people's lives might be harder or might just be a different kind of hard doesn't also mean that they don't have wonderful, cool, unique things about their lives too. Like, if you were to look into like those, like the starving African kids, right? That everybody sees with the little bellies and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, they have a difficult life, but I bet also that if you were to really take the time to learn about their culture, you would find something really interesting and neat. And so my point is that, like, I don't think the world gets darker just because you learn about the bad things. Like, I think it can really just color it in a whole new array of shades, and that it can really make you a deeper person, and it can also give you like just a different worldview. And I really want to give that to my child. I want him to be a kind, compassionate person. And I also want him to like understand what like a crazy, unique world it is.
Yeah.
It's my little spiel of the day.
No, I dig it.
Yes. So I think that was all of the sheltering things. Did you, okay. It's my
Your turn.
A mom tip. I had one and I forgot it. 1 second.
Sorry.
Okay. This is probably just mostly for like newer moms. But and maybe it's super common now, I don't know. But they actually make necklaces with teethers on them.
Yes.
And they're so fun. Like, they have them at Target and a couple other places
Wait,
too.
are you referring, sorry to interrupt, are you referring to the necklace for the mom to wear?
For the mom, and they're actually super cute. The ones I've seen. You could get like different ones to match different outfits. And then when you're carrying your little grumpy little troll who's drooling and teething, you just let them chomp on your necklace. It really saved us a few times.
Sorry, I'm having a meltdown. No, I love that tip. I did see those. I think they were around when Tim was a baby. I just don't really wear jewelry. So
I was gifted one.
Oh, that's awesome.
I had never heard of them until then, and I was so pumped. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. But yeah, Oliver loved chewing on that thing. So it was definitely like a nice thing when we were going out to not have to like find a teether and just wear one.
Yeah. Sorry. No, yeah, that is awesome.
Do you have tweet?
I do.
Ooh.
All right. So my first tweet is from Mom Jeans Please. She said, pro tip, when your kid wakes from a nightmare, don't ask them what it was about. Now we are both terrified of zombies under the garage.
Oh, that mom glow says, couldn't find my son. Everyone was running around the house calling his name. Silence. I found him hiding in a corner, shoving M&Ms in his mouth. Yep, he's mine.
So my next tweet is from Richard Dean at dad_on_my_feet. You thought you had a lot of underscores last time. They said, I just decided to let our 3-year-old, quote, help me make waffles. So now you know the hazards of making critical decisions before you've had any coffee.
Oh. Daddy Doubts says, married sex is like traveling. It takes planning, the conditions need to be right, and everyone has to pee before getting started.
Accurate. So my last tweet is from at Mommed Real Hard again. She said, Twitter was recommended as a place with my sense of humor where I could vent about parenting and not be judged. I didn't plan on getting followers, didn't plan on a persona or a theme. Sometimes I swear and am supportive / pretend. Maybe it's confusing, but I'm just going to keep being me.
I know, I love Twitter. I didn't also expect for it to be such a community, but there's like so many awesome people. Okay, Bun and Leggings says, I can't look at my kids when they lay on the couch because I feel guilty for what me and my husband did on it last night. The kids would be super mad if they found out we ate all the ice cream and good snacks without them.
Oh my God, did not see that going that way.
I know.
My eyes got real big, and then I was like, oh, okay, they just ate the snacks. That reminds me of that one, I think it was ice cream. The kid like comes downstairs and his parents are eating ice cream, and they're like, "Is that ice cream?" And they're like, "No." And then the dad, of course, acts like a child and is like, "I'm a grown up." Literally, me and my husband, we quote that anytime we eat something that Tim's not allowed to have. We're like, "I'm a grown up."
Well, cool. Thanks for listening, friends.
Another one down.
Bye.
Bye.